What transit line travels over water and soars through the air? The Wuppertal Schwebebahn in Wuppertal, Germany, of course. Let's take a ride on one of the most unique transit lines in the world. The Wuppertal Schwebebahn, or suspension monorail as the idea is best conveyed in English, is exactly what it looks like. A monorail where the track is above the trains, running mostly above the Wupper River through the city. In fact, the city's name itself means Wupper Valley, and much of the city follows the bottom of the river valley, making a linear transit line a good option for improving urban transportation. Transferring to the Schwebebahn from mainline trains at Wuppertal Hauptbahnhof is quite simple, as you're about to see.
Hello from Wuppertal Hauptbahnhof. This town is really in the transit world known for one thing, and kind of one thing only, the Schwebebahn. Overall, very nice main train station. I don't see any trams or anything, right? And then you look up, and it's like, oh yeah, a bridge. Yeah, that's train tracks, guys. All right, let's go board.
I reach the platform as the train is boarding, so I hurry in to get a spot near the back. And just like that, we're off. Right off the bat, the ride is pretty quiet and the views are amazing. Right now I'm on a Schwebebahn train to Oberbarmen, the eastern terminus of the line. The western terminus is at Vohwinkel, and the line has 20 stations in total along its 13.3-kilometer long route, offering multiple connections to the conventional rail line it parallels for its entire route. You know, a rail line that isn't upside down with trains just zooming along above the river. Construction began on the Schwebebahn in 1898, with the first section of the line opening March 1st, 1901, with the whole line being finished by June 27th, 1903. Pretty quick construction for such an unconventional line. The track is held up by these huge metal supports, which span both sides of the river for much of the route. Stations are relatively small, but then again, the line was built over a river, and for the convenience in planning and building they gained by having the right-of-way over a river, small stations accommodating only smaller trains are probably worth it, especially if you're going to run trains as frequently as this line does, every 3 minutes on weekdays, every 4 minutes on Saturdays, and every 6 minutes on Sundays and holidays. Soon enough, my train pulls into Oberbarmen, where I get off onto the wooden platform and watch the train turn around. The train only has doors on the right side, so to serve the platforms in the other direction, it has to make a full 180-degree turn.
Alright, so I'm at Oberbarmen, the end station. I'm leaving the platform before anyone gets mad at me for being here.
To head back in the other direction, I rushed down the stairs and up to the westbound platform, where the next train was already pulling in. And I got the best seat in the house. While the front of the train has a driver's cab, the rear is just a big window with seats right next to it. Despite running through a pretty dense urban space, the Schwebebahn is quite scenic. Much of the right-of-way is nice and green, and the only sound other than people talking is the rumble of the train traveling down the line. I'm not even sure I could hear the motor on top of the train, it was that quiet. It's not the fastest transit line as it only goes up to 60 kilometers an hour, but it's still pretty quick compared to the city streets below. The stations are classy to say the least, and despite the line having been modernized, some of the stations have quite a lot of historical charm. The vehicles themselves, however, are relatively new for the most part, being Vohwinkel Generation 15 trains from 2015. The Schwebebahn does, however, still have its historic imperial carriage from 1900, which once carried Emperor Wilhelm II, though nowadays it's used as a for-hire vehicle and for special occasions. After a while, I get off at Klose, the newest station on the line, and it was reconstructed in the 1990s after having been destroyed in World War II. Just one stop short of Hauptbahnhof, to explore a little bit.
Overall, very big fan of these wooden platforms. I mean, just a lot of wood. Then, the river being right there. Such an odd system. Like, just unusual. It's so unique, I've ridden a Schwebebahn before, on this side. Yeah, like, look at this. Ticket machines, maps. I mean, they have it wavy because it follows the river. Just look at this architecture. Like, just the engineering behind this is insane. Looks like live departure boards are not working at the station, and that time is just wrong, but oh well, it is what it is. We are here to get some foamer shots, but not from the vehicle. Also, I like that they have, like, these signs, like, U-Bahn signs, but instead it's Schwebebahn. So I was gonna walk, get some video and pictures and stuff, but that's a massive road and there's like one crosswalk and it's not convenient to even like there's no path. So I'm like, you know what? We're just gonna take the train again because I don't want to deal with car traffic as a pedestrian. It seems like a very car-centric town despite having this interesting transit line. You got some nice seats. Overall, very simple platform. I am the only one here. Excellent.
Hopping on another westbound train, I head over to Oligsmühle, just on the west side of Hauptbahnhof.
Alright, so really I only have a couple options. I could ride the whole thing, but then I wouldn't get food. And I'm going to the Netherlands, so I wouldn't really be able to get food before then, if I didn't eat now. So I'm gonna get something now, maybe get some, rail fanning shots instead of just riding it, because I have plenty of shots of riding it. And, I'm assuming the rest of the line's just kind of like, the half of it I already rode. Seriously, though, the engineering behind this is absolutely insane. I mean, look at this stuff, right? Like, sure, the track looks a little rusty, but, I mean, I'm sure they safety inspected, and, Germany's known for good, like, safety and engineering stuff, so I trust them. But yeah, these massive just beams holding this up above the water, which is just really cool to look at.
Now, with all these sinking trains, you might be wondering if this line is safe. Overwhelmingly, it is, though accidents have occurred, the worst of which was in 1999, when a train fell off the track and into the river. Though 5 unfortunately did not, most people on board survived. This was a one-off occurrence, though, and there has been no accident worse than this in the line's history. On a much lighter note, when I headed back to Wuppertal Hauptbahnhof to catch my train to the Netherlands, I noticed a cool plaque at an entrance to the Schwebebahn commemorating the contributions of Eugen Nagin, the engineer behind the original Schwebebahn. Not every transit line values its history to this level, but I really like it when they do. Overall, the Wuppertal Schwebebahn is one of the most unique transit lines I've ever traveled on, though it's actually not the only suspended monorail I've ridden. The one in Dresden is cool too, though. But the line in Wuppertal is definitely worth a ride if you're in the area, and it was certainly worth the detour I made while I was on my way from Munich to Rotterdam. And as with every video, thanks so much for watching. Let me know in the comments if you've ever been on the Wuppertal Schwebebahn or on any other suspended monorail. And like and or subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Now real quick, you may have noticed that the channel finally hit 2,000 subscribers. Thank you all so much for the support. Between here and 3,000 subscribers, we're going to pass 2,029, 2,900, and the coolest one, 2,929. Do I have plans for any of these milestones? Nothing is set in stone yet, but it would be cool to do something pretty big for 2,929 subscribers. I do have an idea, but time will tell how realistic that is. Anyways, with all that being said, thanks again for watching, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Enjoy the rest of your week.